Mets anticipate prompt response on Tucker inquiry. The New York Mets may be on the verge of another significant roster decision. Multiple league sources indicate that the Mets are anticipating a prompt response regarding an inquiry involving Tucker, a development that has quickly drawn attention across Major League Baseball. While details remain limited, the situation signals continued urgency from the Mets front office as they evaluate options to strengthen their roster. Tonight, we break down what this inquiry could mean, why timing matters, and how it fits into the Mets' broader strategy moving forward. At this stage, the information surrounding the Tucker inquiry remains tightly controlled. What is clear, however, is that the Mets have made contact and are expecting a relatively swift response, suggesting that discussions may already be at an advanced or exploratory phase. In today's MLB landscape, that kind of urgency typically reflects one of three things: a competitive market for the player in question, a time-sensitive roster decision, or a strategic move tied to payroll, depth, or positional need. The Mets' expectation of a prompt reply implies that this is not a casual check-in, but rather a calculated move with real implications. The Mets front office has made it clear in recent seasons that standing still is not an option. Whether through free agency, trades, or internal development, the organization continues to explore every avenue to remain competitive. An inquiry like this suggests the Mets are actively monitoring the market. They may be addressing a specific roster gap, or they see an opportunity to add impact talent under the right conditions. In modern baseball, timing can be everything. Acting early, or decisively, can be the difference between landing a key contributor or watching a rival do so instead. The phrase prompt response is telling. It often means that initial parameters may already be in place. Both sides understand the basic framework of the discussion, or the Mets are weighing multiple options and need clarity quickly. Front offices operate on tight timelines, especially when roster construction, budget considerations, or upcoming deadlines are involved. A fast answer allows the Mets to either move forward or pivot to alternative plans without losing momentum. If the inquiry leads to further talks or an eventual deal, the ripple effects could be significant. Depending on the nature of the move, it could strengthen the Mets offensively or defensively, affect playing time for current roster players, influence bullpen or lineup construction, or signal a broader shift in competitive approach. Even inquiries that don't result in transactions can reveal a team's priorities, and this one suggests the Mets are actively evaluating ways to improve now, not later. Around baseball, teams are increasingly proactive. The trade market has become more fluid, and front offices are less willing to wait until the last possible moment. For the Mets, responding quickly, or expecting a quick response, places them squarely in that modern approach. Gather information early, apply pressure where needed, and stay flexible if circumstances change. Other teams will be watching closely, not just for the outcome, but for what it reveals about the Mets' intentions. In the coming days, clarity should arrive. A prompt response could mean formal negotiations begin, the Mets shift focus elsewhere, or discussions quietly conclude. Until then, the front office remains in a holding pattern, prepared, alert, and ready to act depending on how the situation develops. The New York Mets are once again signaling urgency and intent. By anticipating a quick response on the Tucker inquiry, they are showing that every option is on the table, and that patience has its limits when opportunity arises. Whether this leads to a major move or a strategic pivot, one thing is clear: the Mets are not waiting, they're pushing forward. Stay tuned.